So after the banner is done, we've tested it, we can then add a landing page content instance on the home page as well. This is a page scoped region, so I'm going to log on and add this page scoped region, a component to that page scoped region. And here I can do that simply by clicking on page mode and then dragging and dropping content. Now I could add new content using a quick action, for example. That's a really nice way to do it. We don't have one yet, so for the moment I'm just going to insert a component. And I'm going to use the content item component. I want to put a simple content item here, and I could create a new content item. I could, just for the purposes of this test, select the existing content item that is being displayed in the banner, but we'll just display it in a different way. So I don't have a display view yet for this. I don't have any targeting or advanced options. I'm just going to save and close that content item. And then it renders it in XML, and although that looks funny, that's actually good, because then we can see that things are working and we can see all the available attributes. I can edit the content instance here if I want to by clicking on the pencil icon. I can add media to it. So for example, maybe now is a good time to add some feature images. So for example, I can go to my workspace, or I can add those images here through automation, doing the page level. So I can upload files and drag and drop files. I can also insert existing content that's already on the system. But for this case, what I would prefer to do is maybe go to the workspace and run another quick action or a automation on that folder. So I'm going to go to my folders, media, and perhaps add some new content. So add images again, and this time I'm going to choose the feature images. That'll give us a nice selection of images to pick from to add to our content. And then I'll go to where those images are located, right on the file system. And I've got a few here, so I'll copy those or select them, and I'll just drag and drop them. Oops. And I'll drag and drop these over to the workspace. I can add appropriate alt text and captioning at this point. So alt text and etc. Otherwise, I'll just click upload. And those will apply the appropriate automations that will allow us to show content in a different way than are shown in the banner. So now that the image is there, I can filter on the image type so I don't get too distracted. Now I'm only seeing the image types there, I don't see the formats. So once that's in place, I can go edit that content and add one of those instances. And I can do this at preview, of course, and that's kind of nice. That's a little more intuitive. I'll go back to preview, and then I'll edit that content instance landing page by clicking the edit button for the content item. And I can do that directly from the smart list. That's a fast way to do it. And then add media to the image attribute. So now I should have some media that I can add. So I'll select one of those media instances, and then I'll save and close. So now we need to write a display view to support that. So I'm going to go grab some code that should work for us and then apply that to a new display view to render this in a nice way. So I'll go back to my workspaces, presentation, views, and we can simply copy or clone one of the other views and make some small changes to it. So this will be a product details, and I'll change the code to rl product.jsp. Dependencies are going to be a little different because this code will only work for components using content items. It might work for a media item. It may even work for a campaign or some targeted content. So we'll just put in all the items that this code could work for potentially and save and close. I'll go ahead and approve things like I always do, and then share that product's details to the site or sites that I want to use that display view in. So now I have product's details, and I'm just going to go look at the name of the file again. It's RL product. I do have some sample code that should work for that. Here's one. I'll copy it and call it RL product. And let's take a quick look at the code. And the big difference here is that you're going to see we're rendering a lot more information, but we're also, in our templating tags, we're using the content item tag. So from our templating library, we're using the content item tag. That's important. This way, this code would only work for content instances. It wouldn't work for a smart list or for a content list. We're going to initialize the context like we always do. We do want to support localized references so that we can support the translation groups when we're creating content, and then rendering the content based upon localized references. But we're using very similar code to what we saw in the banner. I'm looking for the image. I'm filtering for the format. I'm going to use the portrait format instead of landscape. And then I'm going to render that image using the inline edit feature, image inline edit. I'm going to render the teaser and the body of the content. You'll notice I've not placed the title here. I'm just doing the teaser and the body. We can add the title later. But this code should work for us. It's really simple code that will render the image, the teaser, and the body, and will allow us to edit that content in line. But let's see if it works. So we go back to our preview, where we previewed that item. And what's nice is this is at the page scope. This is a page scope component or region. So if I go into page mode, I can now select the display view and switch to our product details. And make sure I see something there. I see an image, I see the teaser and the body. I can leave page mode and go into edit mode to make sure I can modify the content. So this is more information about the product. And here's the body, and we'll modify the body as well. This is the So something new in 10.5 is there's not a save button anymore. There is a discard button. So you'll notice that things like Control S don't work like they used to. Well, they do. Excuse me. But you'll notice there's not a save button there. It's a little bit hiding. There it is. It's hiding on the end. So I'm going to leave edit mode after saving. So that's a problem with high resolution is that, or low resolution, is that you don't see. You have this little expansion menu to get access to that save button. So that validates our display view for the details of a content instance. And at this point I can then approve the page and then publish the page to my live site.